Hello, I'm Cameron Walker and you're watching GB News Originals, and in an exclusive, Prince Harry has paid special tribute to his late grandfather Prince Philip in a personal letter secretly placed at the National Memorial Arboretum after Friday's National Service of Remembrance attended by King Charles and Queen Camilla. Now, the Duke of Sussex asked a friend to discreetly place the letter and a wreath at the Burma Star Memorial in Staffordshire after their Majesties had departed, in an effort, I understand, not to distract from official royal commemorations which marked 80 years since Japan's surrender at the end of the Second World War. Now, Friday's service brought together 33 veterans aged between 96 and 105 who served in the Far East and Pacific, alongside King Charles, Queen Camilla and the Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. Now, in the poignant letter, Prince Harry said, "For me, this anniversary carries an added layer of meaning. My late grandfather, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, served in the Pacific Campaign. He spoke with quiet humility about those years, but I know how deeply he respected all who stood beside him in that theatre of war. Today, as I think of him, I think also of each of you, of the shared hardships, the bonds forged, and the legacy you leave."
A new revelation has stunned royal watchers. Prince Harry's tribute letter to Prince Philip at his memorial has now been made public. At first glance, it reads like a grandson honoring a beloved grandfather, but critics say the words don't match Harry's actions. At the memorial for Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh, Harry placed a letter of tribute that praised Philip's service, his legacy, and his role as a family man. It was emotional, respectful, and fitting for the moment. But here's the problem. While the words were gracious, the backdrop of Harry's strained relationship with the royal family makes the tribute controversial. For some, it felt disingenuous.
Now, the Duke of Sussex was understood to be close to his late grandfather before he died, and previously described him as a man of service, honour, and great humour. The late Duke of Edinburgh was mentioned in dispatches for his bravery during the Battle of Cape Matapan in the early years of the war, before serving in the Far East. Prince Philip, husband of the late Queen Elizabeth II, was also present in Tokyo Bay for the formal Japanese surrender in September 1945, almost 80 years ago. Last Friday, King Charles addressed the nation to pay tribute to the so-called Forgotten Army, recalling his grandfather, King George VI's broadcast on VJ Day in 1945. His Majesty also praised the leadership of his great-uncle, Lord Mountbatten, but did not mention his father, Prince Philip. Prince Harry's tribute to his late grandfather forms part of a lengthy statement thanking the men and women for their sacrifice for the freedom of future generations. In his letter addressed to the Forgotten Army, the Duke of Sussex said, "On this 80th anniversary of VJ Day, we pause to remember the day the guns fell silent across the world, the true end of the Second World War. We also pause to recognize you, the men and women of the Forgotten Army, whose courage and endurance in the Far East campaign were anything but forgettable. You faced an enemy determined to the last, fought in unforgiving terrain, and endured months, even years, far from home in conditions most could scarcely imagine. Your service in the jungles and mountains of Burma and beyond was marked by grit, unity, and sacrifice. It is because of that sacrifice that generations since, myself included, have been able to live in freedom. From the lessons of that bitter struggle came the understanding that even the fiercest of foes can, in time, become valued partners in peace. Today, as both our nations mark this anniversary, we acknowledge the respect earned, the lives lost, and the enduring hardship that has since taken root. For me, this anniversary carries an added layer of meaning. My late grandfather, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, served in the Pacific Campaign. He spoke with quiet humility about those years, but I know how deeply he respected all who stood beside him in that theatre of war. Today, as I think of him, I think also of each of you, of the shared hardships, the bonds forged, and the legacy you leave. I am humbled by your example, proud of your service and dedication, and profoundly grateful for what you endured. Your story is part of our shared heritage, and it must never be forgotten. With the deepest respect, thank you." And he signed the letter, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex.
The backlash online was immediate. Many fans argued that Harry's kind words rang hollow, given that he and Meghan had openly criticized the monarchy just months before. One social media comment summed it up: "You can't throw grenades at your family one day and write glowing tributes the next." Others defended Harry, saying the letter was a personal tribute to his grandfather, separate from his issues with the firm. but the division is undeniable. Royal commentators noted the stark contrast between Harry's public tribute and the fact that he wasn't physically at the memorial alongside his family. The palace, for its part, has remained completely silent on the letter. No acknowledgement, no commentary. And that silence, it speaks louder than the words on the page. This moment captures the complexity of Prince Harry's position.
Now, Prince Harry served in the British Army for 10 years, including 2 tours of Afghanistan. With the help of the Royal Foundation, formerly known as the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry, i.e. Prince William and Catherine, he founded the Invictus Games in 2014, which offers a recovery pathway for international wounded, injured and sick servicemen and women in a Paralympic-style competition. The Invictus Games is coming to Birmingham in 2027, and Prince Harry has reportedly invited his father, King Charles, adding to the speculation that both sides could reconcile their fractured relationship. Now, what I think this shows, that Prince Harry has secretly put this letter here, is that he wanted to be discreet. He didn't really want to distract from the official royal commemorations that took place on Friday, i.e. King Charles leading the nation alongside his wife, Queen Camilla, and the official statement we got from the Prince and Princess of Wales on their social media feeds. This wasn't a press release, this was me digging and then finding out some information and of course acquiring those photographs of the wreath and the letter themselves. And I think what Prince Harry is trying to do here, what I've noticed over the last month or two, is trying to pivot towards philanthropy, but also focusing more on the military side of things, so paying tribute to the fallen veterans rather than talking about, commercial deals or selling royal secrets, which of course he has done in the past. I was asked by Tom Harwis, my colleague here at GB News earlier on, is this a sign that Prince Harry is coming back to Great Britain? I think the answer to that is no. His life is very much in the United States. Of course, he is still in a dispute over the kind of security he and his family gets when he comes to the UK. So I don't see that happening. But what I do see happening perhaps is more of a focus and more on the shifting of the spotlight onto his military projects, including the Invictus Games, but also Scotty's Little Soldiers, which is a UK-based charity supporting children who's lost a parent through conflict, particularly those, of course, serving in the military. So I think that's where we're seeing Prince Harry heading, focusing more on that rather than selling royal secrets, but I think he's firmly in the United States for the time being.
He wanted to honor his grandfather, but his actions in recent years have alienated him from the very family Philip devoted his life to. So what do we see here? A heartfelt gesture? Or another example of Harry trying to rewrite the narrative? Prince Harry's tribute to Prince Philip could have been a touching moment of unity. Instead, it has become a flashpoint for debate. A reminder that every move Harry makes is now scrutinized through the lens of conflict and controversy. What do you think? Was Harry's letter genuine or a hypocritical gesture? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more unfiltered royal commentary, breaking scandals, and deep dive analysis into the House of Windsor.